All right, these videos are going pretty well. You guys are signing up at the YouTube channel. That's very cool. You can tell me what you like and what you don't like, and we'll see if this builds over time and stays worthwhile. And when it seems critical mass has agreed it isn't, I'm out, because why do it if it's not worth the while for you and therefore for me? So at the end of every week, I'm going to take the most frequently asked questions by you guys, call you out by name, and try to answer them as best I can. I'm off Thursday and Friday. In fact, I'll be off Thursday and Friday the next few weeks. Why? Because I never take vacation. I got a ton of days to burn. I don't want to lose them. Got the holidays coming up, and I have some stuff I have to take care of that I haven't been able to do because we've all been working so hard on the campaign. So this is the end of the week for me this week. Wendy, what are your thoughts? 650 Wendy. Do not go after people if you don't like their questions. Go after me. I enjoy it. Don't disrespect each other, please. So, what are your thoughts on Trump kids' roles going forward? Security level conflict of interest. Okay, a long history of having family close to a politician in positions of power. After John F. Kennedy put Bobby Kennedy in as AG, LBJ Johnson passed anti-nepotism laws. So you can't have cabinet officials as family anymore. Probably makes sense. So legally, there's certain constraints. If his kids are going to be close to him in terms of advising him, they should probably have at least low-level security clearances, because you have to make sure that you have secure communications for the president. So you don't want him communicating with people who aren't on secure devices. That's a practical matter. Also, you don't want, I'm sure politically, Trump doesn't want to get caught in one of the many attacks on Hillary Clinton that he made, that she was giving information to whom Abedin or other people who didn't have clearance. So he gets rid of that way. Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, has a pretty big role. Why? What are the three most important things in a political advisor that you need? Loyalty, loyalty, and loyalty. Why? Because that's the nature of its game. It's all about avoiding people stabbing you in the back and having somebody who's with you in bad times. And perception is often reality in politics, and you need somebody who has your back, who will forward your agenda, who will fight for you through thick and thin. That's about loyalty, and who's more loyal than family? That's why you see Jared Kushner in there, his son-in-law. Okay, so Bannon is going to get equal say. That's what we're told. Steve Bannon is highly controversial, and by the way, I would use that word controversial as a generous assessment. I think there are real objective problems with what he has put forward as Breitbart. Now people are saying, well, you got to separate Bannon from Breitbart. I don't know that he deserves that accommodation. I think you are what you do. People are saying he doesn't believe in white nationalism. He doesn't believe in any of these things. Well, then why do they poke their head out in a lot of what Breitbart does? I'm not saying it's a white nationalist site. I'm saying that it seems to forward a lot of agendas that could fall into that category. That's unhealthy. Equal say to me means what it seems to suggest, and that's why there's a lot of pushback during the transition right now from legitimate Republicans and more moderate-minded people or reasonable people who are saying, I don't want to work around this guy. I don't want his ideas to get into my policy discussions. So that's that. All right, here's another question. That was from Pam Williams Taylor. This is from Marilyn Barrett Whitney. She says, could the unceasing attacks on any news organization they disagree with effectively result in a state-run media during the Trump presidency? No. Interestingly, Mike Pence, as governor of Indiana, tried to introduce a state-run media thing that he said was just for emergency communications and stuff. Critics took it as an attempt to control messaging and subvert the free media. What's going on with the media right now is going to have to run its course. Trump very effectively turned his followers against the media. It doesn't matter what I think about that. You're not going to accept it anyway because I'm in the media. But I think that over time, you'll see him back away from that. And over time, people will start judging the media for what comes out of it. And in truth, in the media's own inimitable fashion, the media is paying way too much attention to criticism of it, and it's giving a distorted picture of it. That's ironic, right? Given what the basis of that criticism is. But if you look overall, I know they'll put out a study saying the media trust is at an all-time low. Trust in everything has been attriting over time, every institution. It seems to be the nature of our cultural development or devolution. But in general, people know you need the media. You should judge the media on an individual basis by who does a good job and who doesn't. But he's not going to get state-run media. And over time, I think he's going to start tweeting less, attacking the media like he did today, because it's not going to work for him as president the way it did as an insurgent. Chief strategist Susan Eisel, sorry if I got your name wrong, the pronunciation, asks, just what exactly does a chief strategist do? It's a good question. A lot of titles are meaningless on the political side. Steve Bannon, as chief strategist, he's a big voice in Donald Trump's head. What a strategist does nominally is to get in there and figure out how to play things politically, how to push a policy, how to back away from a policy, what part of an agenda to manifest and in what way, which media to work with, which media to avoid, and all of these types of considerations. Every politician has that. The problem is the amount of influence and the amount of balance. There is good reason to believe that Donald Trump thinks Steve Bannon gets him and gets how to win. And that is the concern of a lot of other people, is that but what Steve Bannon may be about and what winning was during the election may not help as much as a president, because division is not so helpful when you're trying to unify the country, unless you really believe you could rule and get reelected by staying divided. Donald Trump, in his first words as president-elect, didn't seem to acknowledge that or accept that. Where will he be going forward? That's why there's a lot of questions about Steve Bannon being so close to the ear of power, who balances him out, who is the reasonable voice, who is the non-separation voice. We don't know. That's one of the problems with this transition, is the unknown. Transition chaos, not unusual. We'll have to wait and see. It's very hard for people to do in a society that's all about instant response on Twitter. All right, that's what I got. What do you think? Please feel free to disagree with me. Don't attack the people I named asking questions that is not nice, and nice still matters.